Hello, this is Joel, and welcome to part 22 of my Fallout 4 playthrough, whatever. Okay, well, it's time to use the signal interceptor.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually works?
Yes, I am. We can test
Shouldn't we test it first?
I wish we could, but we've only got the one frequency code.
That's a good point.
There's no way to test it without actually jacking into the Institute signal. And as soon as we do that, we've used our one and only chance. As soon as the Institute figures out what we did, and I gotta believe those brainiacs won't be caught napping twice, that code we've got is useless.
Yes, it is.
Let's do this.
You sure? Okay.
Okay.
Your part is simple. Just step onto the platform.
His
I'll
tone
start
fills me
scanning
with
for an
confidence.
Institute signal to lock onto. Then, I fire her up and we see what happens.
Here we go.
Whenever you're ready.
Yay.
Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. Oh yeah, by the way,
Don't do this.
I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute, what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And...
Just there for
Got
decoration?
it.
You know
Hold
I
on
did
to your
build this
butt.
thing, right? Here we go. Yay. Okay, well, first things first. Let's scan the network. There we go. Hooray! This one was probably me. Okay. Let's see. Anything cool? You know. Oh, cool. Nothing really in here.
Hello.
Road to field.
I wondered if you
Yeah.
might make it here. You're quite resourceful.
Thanks.
I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
It's stuck.
Sure. Why not?
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute.
Thanks.
This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable.
To put it mildly.
I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason.
Yes?
You are here for your son.
And... okay.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Yes.
What's going on?
It's me.
Father?
Your dad.
Father!
I'm here, Sean.
I don't know you.
It'll be okay,
Go
Sean.
away.
I'm
Father.
here now.
Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Please, Sean. I'm your father. Talk to me. Just open the door.
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
He's a synth, I bet. Yeah.
Sean.
Yep.
S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
That's just a creepy nickname to have.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
You know, when I did the first video at the end, I commented that I have no idea how long I was asleep after they took Sean. And I said, you know, based on previous Bethesda games that I played, that I bet it's going to turn out that he's like 60 years old and the bad guy. Did I call it or what?
It's really you? After all this time?
Yes. It's true. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
I even said 60 years old. You know, this is a really fun game. I've enjoyed playing it very much. But to the developers and the people who are writing the actual story at Bethesda, you guys need to be a little less frickin' predictable, because you do...
Are you following?
Basically the same thing all the time. You set up a situation, and then you make it so that no matter what, everything ends up bad for the hero in the end. You guys are just dicks.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone, even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above. Members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Okay, I'm going to make another prediction now. He's the only actual human in the Institute. Every single other person here is going to turn out to be a synth. And the reason I say that is because with the small number of people here, they don't have enough of a gene pool
overwhelmed
for this many generations. I mean, by this time, every single person would be a first cousin at the least, if they were interbreeding. So I'm betting that every single person in this institute is a synth, except for him. He's the only actual human.
Sean, it's really you.
It really is. I know you must have questions. Please, anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg, he worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You know, I want to do the yellow one because I know I'll get experience points for doing it, but this is the answer I would give. After seeing the pictures in his mind, I do kind of feel sorry for him.
After what I've seen, I pity the man. He was as much a victim as anything.
After what he did to you, I'm shocked you would be so generous. But yes, I understand you've experienced things. Perhaps you ended up knowing him better. I, for one, will never truly forgive him. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They need your help, Sean. It's rough up there, to say the least.
Oh, we've tried that. Surprised? The Institute once tried to help create a stabilized Commonwealth government. It ended in bickering, infighting. It was a disaster. No. We look after our own now. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
What I want is to find my son, which I got. So, you know what? Sure.
Yes, that's what I want.
I know. I know you've been through so much. I'm pleased to see it has not impaired your judgment.
Well, that's a little arrogant.
Forgive me. I'd assume that after everything I'm sure you've seen above ground, you would be more than a bit biased against us.
A little bit.
There is much to be done. You'll need time to acclimate yourself, a chance to become acquainted with our procedures.
I'll do whatever it takes. It's worth it.
I am glad to hear that. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Okay, well, just as I had said, Sean is 60 years old and he's the bad guy. So there we go. In the next video, actually, I think the first thing I'm going to do is try and find that thing that Virgil wanted. He said he was in bioscience, and science. There's like a serum on his desk or something. So first thing I'm going to do is see if I can find that. But then, I'm going to continue on with this quest in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. This is Joel, and I will talk at you soon. Peace.